Hey there everyone, Witch Hazel again, and today I wanted to chat a little bit on creating a portable book of shadows. Now I have mentioned in the past that I really do not like traveling with stuff, and that means I generally do not have any sort of book of shadows with me when I travel. On the one hand, it's because my binder at home is really not practical for traveling, and also I am a big believer and I don't need that stuff to do witchy work when I'm gone. However, because I tend to be gone for extended periods of time, weeks or months, I have found that I tend to want to reference things that are at home in my binder or in my little notebook where I have recipes and things that I really should condense all into one spot. So that's been happening a lot lately, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get around this for future travel. So as said, my binder is impractical. Bringing a full book of shadows is impractical for me because it's heavy and bulky. Some options that I have considered. First off, electronic copy. That's probably the most obvious for most portable. Keeping a copy of the Book of Shadows on the computer, or at the very least, and probably best, would be on something small like a flash drive, portable hard drive. That way you always have your full set of everything with you. For me, however, I do think this is a good idea. I think it's something I need to put together and to have as a backup. However, I don't think it's something I would enjoy using unless I had to. And the reason is I don't like using electronics if I don't have to. And also I don't find it convenient. I have to turn on the computer, wait for it to start up. My computer is old. Find the file, look through and find what I want. It's really, for me, very hectic and takes away from the aesthetic and just my desire to work with it. So that's one problem. However, I do think I will put together an electronic backup just in case. The other thing is, when I travel, I don't necessarily have a computer. I don't necessarily have internet access if I want to research. So even though we think technology is so, grand and makes everything instantly available at the fingertips, it really does not, depending on where you go. I travel out of the country a lot. I just do, and the rest of the world is not necessarily as connected, or the connections are different, and I don't have access to them. So that's another problem. Now, looking at more traditional notebook options, then I run into my same old argument of it's bulky, it's heavy, it takes up space, therefore I don't want it with me. I had considered also, I run into the problem of a traditional bound notebook being everything spread all over the place and I can't find things. So then I thought, well, maybe a disc-bound or disc-bound notebook that I could move things back and forth. However, that to me just kind of screams bulky again. Although I think it would be good for having sections and moving things. Then there's the Midori. I could have a dedicated Book of Shadows traveler's notebook with different inserts for different things, but then I'm getting into traveling with multiple traveler's notebooks, and that's just as bulky as one giant notebook. So I don't like that idea either. And here's what I decided to run with, because I really don't like any of my options, but I am really getting frustrated that I don't have access to the things that I want access to while I'm gone. I went and got a Miguel Ruiz notebook. This is totally not something I would travel with. However, I kind of wanted to use this partially to see what all the fuss is about with this notebook. I like the amount of pages, even though it's bulky, and I like the grids. So my thought was, I have set this up in a quasi-bullet journal fashion, specifically for witchy work. So I will be using this for at least the next month as an experiment, hopefully continually after that as the dump spot for all things witchy. And following that, at the end of each month, at the end of however long I decide it needs to be before I start reviewing, I'm going to try and keep track, take note of which information in this notebook I go back to the most. What is it that I'm wanting to reference the most? And then try to take all of that information and condense it down into something that will fit a traveler's notebook insert. I think that would be the best option. Now, this is not a traveler's notebook insert, but I mean, for reference, size-wise, it would be something small, thin, easily transportable, not a lot of weight, and it would hold my most used information. I'm thinking that will probably be the best bet for me, and that's the plan for right now. So, if any of you have attempted putting together a travel book of shadows or have put one together and are happy with how it's worked out, please do let me know. If you have videos, happy to watch them, just so I can get ideas and see how other folks are potentially dealing with this issue. Maybe it's just me, but I have a feeling it's not. A lot of us travel. So hopefully this video brought up some ideas and was useful to you. I will keep you posted on how that goes, and I'll talk to you again soon. Blessed be.